own experiences, and you can then stop me in between, and you can just relate to what I have to say. So I'll take few minutes to share the way we prepared. So like Sir said, I did my B.Pharm from DVB Samaj College of Pharmacy. So again, very well known college. Back then it was just one of the four colleges in that region, in the Pune University, after Bharati Vidyapeeth, then Gaura College, and then Panchoti College. And by the time we actually graduated, there were so many colleges. So again, when we appeared for GATE in the pharmacy, there were only 2,600 students, and now you can see the number of students is probably more than 20,000 or so. So the competition has increased to a great extent, right? And so is the preparation, or whatever preparation you need to really excel, because every single mark you lose, your rank can go way down by like 400 or rather 200 ranks, and that is actually that can be detrimental. So I just share my experience since the same college where I was in. So we had this trend every year, the whole batch of 60 or at least 50 to 55 students would appear, and every year the topper and second topper, fourth topper, all those toppers there will be at least 10 to 12 people in the top 50 in the GATE exam in pharmacy. So we had a trend. So when I was in say third year, then I saw my seniors getting those high ranks. So automatically the pressure came on me, and I was like, yeah, I have nothing. Meaning, of course, I was topper in the class, and then I wanted to go for my master. So it was my decision that I would prepare for GATE, and then not just prepare, I would excel, and then eventually go to ICT. Again, my focus was very clear. I wanted to go to ICT. I wanted to go and work with Professor V.M. Kulkarni, and that too in molecular modeling. So there was a life-changing incident which occurred when I was in second year. So in our college, we had one so-called pharma corner, just a small showcase, and they used to put nice news and all happenings. So one fine day, there was a news cutting from Times of India, in which Professor V.M. Kulkarni and Dr. Tanaji Kayale, who was pursuing his PhD with Professor V.M. Kulkarni at ICT. Now, Tanaji is from the same area. He is from Jalgaon region. I think Chopra or some small village he is from. Currently, he is working as a professor in St. John's University in the New York State. So the point is, when I saw Tanaji was again our very super senior. He was from the same college, and then there was a nice picture of HIV-1 protease, three-dimensional structure on the molecular model, silicon graphics screen. It was shown. Tanaji was a very small fellow. You might have heard Tanaji. Sir, Tanaji must have come to college and delivered talks, right?
Yes, sir. He came to our college.
Tanaji visited our college.
Yes. It is the same Dr. Tanaji Kayale, Professor Tanaji Kayale. So that one single news, just a small. I have that newspaper cutting. So that one newspaper cutting changed the course of my life. Then I was like, even I want to do something like that and do some real cool stuff. And I really want to discover drugs, by doing some hi-fi molecular modeling work also. And at the same time, we had one professor, Professor Maurya, V.K. Maurya. I think he is currently at Amravati, or I think he's at Amravati, right, sir?
Yes.
Aurangabad. Aurangabad or Amravati. He is he used to do a lot of molecular modeling study. So there was a small computer room, and we used to watch some molecules dancing, some molecular dynamics going on screen, and we used to be very amazed with what cool stuff he is going to do. So these were the two important, I would say, things which made me to focus on what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to ICT. I wanted to work with Professor V.M. Kulkarni, and I wanted to also work on drug design and then discover some new drugs also. So then I had only one option, that I should be in top 10 or top 5, because then only you would get to ICT back then. So then I was like, and of course, you don't really decide, and you don't stand topper in a GATE exam or any competitive exam for that matter. You need unprecedented hard work and relentless hard work, and you really have to have that focus, and you should be mentally also ready to deal with the stress, with the kind of things that are needed. So we actually work very hard. So and then of course I stood first, and then ultimately I ended up in ICT. In fact, before going to ICT, I mean, that time NIPER Mohali just started back in 1998. They admitted their first batch of master students in 1998. So I also went because that was the first time I actually got into a train and went out of Maharashtra. We went to Mohali and then appeared for exam. But then I applied directly for PhD there. I thought maybe if that works out. Of course, my heart and soul was for ICT. Then after giving the exam and all, so they decided meaning Naipur Mohali guys, the professor, they decided that although they said they would offer a seat for exceptionally brilliant students for direct PhD, but somehow they did not, and that plan was really cancelled. But anyways, it did not make any difference to me. So then I came and worked in ICT. So I will just describe my journey during this time. So the main thing what we opted was group study. So we had a lot of at least six students who were staying in one flat, like six of roommates, and there were three localites. Again, most of them from the toppers category.
मिळत असते म्हणजे समजा आता तुमची डिपॉझिट 1 लाखाची असेल आणि तुम्हाला समजा आता पैशांची गरज आहे तर तुम्ही ती एफडी
Please, participant, mute yourself.
एफडी तुम्ही प्रीमॅच्युअर क्लोज करता समजा तुमची
Participant, someone is speaking.
पैशांची गरज असेल तर तुम्ही ती एफडी तेव्हा क्लोज न करता तिच्यावर तुम्ही ओव्हरड्राफ्ट घेऊ शकता.
Someone is speaking. Please mute yourself.
Yeah, I muted her. Okay, so we had a real nice group of people, and around 8 to 9. Yeah. So group study was the main main thing which we opted for. Now, what is the importance of group study? So when you have got say 5 or 6, or maybe in our case it was 9 students, so we divided the topics. In the sense, somebody would prepare microbiology, somebody would prepare a part of pharmaceuticals, somebody will prepare chemistry, somebody will prepare pharmacology, somebody will prepare pharmacognosy. Right, so we divided the work, and in the process we also so everybody tried to make charts of some important information. Say I prepared chart for antipsychotic drugs, major like neuroleptics, or major antidepressants. Then somebody prepared a chart for pharmacognosy, then somebody prepared a chart for microorganisms for bioassay, and our full room was, all the walls were full of some other chart. So what we did was I mean, every time every morning you wake up, you have some chart in front of you, right? You go from one room to other room. Even we had charts in the bathroom, in the toilet, in the kitchen, everywhere, on the door and everywhere. So every time we move around in the room, we will be looking at some or the other chart. So, and many times, even though you are not consciously reading, but then that image stays in your mind or in your brain, and eventually that really helped us. So group study was the main thing that we opted for. And then of course we also tried to make our own notes, right? In the sense, if I am reading a topic, say autonomic nervous system, right? So in that case, what I will do is I will read about all the autonomic nervous system, try and understand everything, and then I will try and make out some important points. So if I have to say what is the effect of autonomic nervous stimulation, say sympathetic nervous stimulation on the eye muscles, or on the sweat glands, or on the say gastrointestinal tract, or the blood vessels, or the heart muscle, everything. And then we will take out a small points out of this, and then we also try to draw the drug structures, and then try and study the medicinal chemistry and pharmacology together. Right. So what happens is, I mean, you are not studying medicinal chemistry separately and pharmacology separately. You are studying together. So what we did was, so the syllabus was so huge, so we condensed it into major categories. So all the pharmacology, toxicology, medicinal chemistry went together. The physical pharmacy, the pharmaceutics, and then in organic they all went together. Then organic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, everything went together. So instead of say like 10 to 12 subjects, we had 3 to 4 major groups. So we just focus on the group, and when I'm reading about say phytochemical, then I will also look at the biosynthetic pathway. I will also look at the so-called extraction procedure. I'll also look at the pharmacological action. I'll also look at the adverse effects. And then that was true for even the synthetic drugs as well. And then in the process, while shortening the information, we also try to make some mnemonics or some trick. Now, if I ask you epinephrine, you all know epinephrine, and then there is another term that is adrenaline. So can somebody tell me epinephrine is an American terminology or British terminology?
Yes, participant, you can.
Yeah, please feel free to see. This is an interaction. You have to talk. Talk in Marathi. And Mala chalel, absolutely not a problem.
Yes, you can unmute yourself and you can talk with sir. Sir is very interested to talk with you.
Yeah,
Please.
it's an American. Yeah, the very correct, Pooja. So then adrenaline is a British terminology. But then that's one thing you can you probably remember. But at times you can get confused. So what we did was we tried to make a mnemonic like EAB. So epinephrine is an American terminology and adrenaline is a British terminology. So all I have to remember is the word EAB. Then immediately, so likewise, norepinephrine, American terminology, noradrenaline, British terminology. Then we also made some mnemonics for the bioassay, say, or the drugs for, say, for TB, the first line agents for TB. Can somebody tell me right away? Or you can type in the chat box if that is fine. I mean, if that is what you would want. There are, see, when we were doing our GATE preparation, there were 5 drugs which were the first line agents for TB, for the treatment of TB. Now it is only 4.
Sir, isoniazide, rifampicin, ethambutol, streptomycin, pyrazinamide.
Yeah, that's very correct. But now, if I tell you a word, say something like Percy, I'm also doing it there itself, Percy. So P for pyrazinamide, E for ethambutol, R for rifampicin, S for streptomycin, and I for isoniazid. Is that easy? Will it help if you remember this word Percy? If you remember word Percy, believe me, immediately you will remember all the drugs. So this is what is mnemonic or a trick. So I mean, I can tell you everything, but then now those who are appearing for GATE or say even for that matter GPAT, you only have probably a month or so, and that's why I thought I will rather have an interaction instead of presenting and telling you all the stuff. And that's exactly I thought I would share my experiences with you. So remember the mnemonic, and that will reduce a lot of your work. Meaning your memory will require very tiny bits of place to remember that particular word. So likewise, you can make mnemonic for anything and everything, including the microorganisms used in bioassay. You can even the major constituents in in the phytopharmaceuticals. You can have mnemonics for anything and everything, even for that matter, say method validation. The criteria used in analytical method validation, you can actually prepare a small word and remember it accordingly, right? So use of mnemonics is one, meaning there is so much information you have to digest. Now you have to also appreciate that when we appeared for GATE, say like when I appeared for GATE 1998, our paper used to be of 150 marks. Out of which 75 was objective and 75 was subjective. So out of that 75, 35 marks were for the multiple choice plus match the pairs, and then 40 marks were for short answer questions. Now, in your case, when you are appearing for GPAT, in your case, you have all the 4 answers in front of your eyes. You just have to check, or rather click, or rather tick on one of the answers. You have to select one answer. For us, it was not the case. Now, it was short answer question, say answer in one sentence or answer in like subjective question, write the synthesis. You don't really have to go through that pain. All you have to do is just study and read. So many a times, what I'm trying to tell you is you just go on reading. Don't worry whether you remember it right away or not. You don't have to worry about that. Everything is in front of your eyes. In case of some sums or some problems, you just have to find the correct way of doing it, and that's exactly what you would also do on that day as well. So group study, use of mnemonics, and then like I said, you don't really have to remember things all. I mean, we tend to remember, we tend to buy hard things. I mean, right from our childhood we are taught that way. If you remember more, you will be able to write more in the exam, you'll get more marks, and you will do well in life. But believe me, the competitive exams where you have all the four answers in front of your eyes, unless you have studied, no matter whether you remember it, or while you are studying, while you are preparing, because syllabus is so huge. The number of pages of GATE, the GPAT syllabus itself is like 48 to 50 pages. So you can imagine there is so much to study. Now, is it possible for you to remember every single thing? No, nobody can remember. I wouldn't be able to remember. But all you have to do is just go through that information and make sure that you have at least read, once everything in the syllabus. You don't have to give anything for option, because the moment you keep option, then you are likely to be less confident, because somewhere deep down that okay, I have kept this as an option, but what if I get some important questions or many questions on that particular topic or something like that. So coming back to the chemistry part of it, of course, I'll talk more about chemistry, but then I will not do that. I can talk more about chemistry. Now, so again, in case of remembering drug structure, many a times the clue is given in the name of that particular drug structure itself, right? So in case of nifedipine, it's a 1,4-dihydropyridine calcium channel blocker. So N is, you have got the nitro group, meta-nitro group present on the 4-phenyl group. So nifedipine, N for nitro. And dipine is all the 1,4-dihydropyridine. So dipine for dihydropyridine. Then you also have, you can remember, say amlodipine, which is the, I think, third generation 1,4-dihydropyridine. So amlodipine is the structure is slightly different from the earlier or first and second generation 1,4-dihydropyridines, where you have got an amine group present, CH2, CH2, NH2 or something like that group present. So you can remember that amlo, AM for the amine, and then you can accordingly practice drawing the structures. Of course, you don't have to draw any structure in the exam. That's another good cool thing that you guys can have. I mean, you have that luxury of not really remembering any structure. But then, if there is a question, so at least the familiarity with the structure is very important. Meaning, if I draw a particular structure, so is there a heterocycle present, and what is that heterocycle called? Because there could be a question, if you can draw a structure of one particular drug containing this particular heterocycle belonging to say antihypertensive class or so. So in that case, if you don't know what that heterocycle is, there is no way you will actually be able to correct or write the correct answer. So when you practice structures, it's a good idea. You don't really have to remember any IUPAC name. Nobody will ask you to write IUPAC name, because you will have the chem draw and other structure drawing packages which will write or generate the IUPAC name for you. But at least you can remember even with the drug structures, the metabolism, like what all what important features are there in the structures, which the metabolic hotspot. The moment you see some O alkyl group, so then OD alkylation becomes a one of the major metabolic pathway. And alkylamine, so ND alkylation that can happen. If you have got an ester hydrolysis, amide hydrolysis. If you have got a phenyl ring which is unsubstituted, then 4-hydroxylation is a major metabolic pathway. Likewise, then you can also remember major CYP enzymes, 3A4, 2D6, 2C19, 2C9, like that. And they will be the ones responsible for the metabolism of say 70% odd drugs, right? 70-75%. Then you can remember about the phase 2 enzymes like UDP glucuronate transferases, N-acetyl transferases, N-methyl transferases, and so on and so forth. right? Now then coming to remembering the mechanisms of action. So again, since you just have to understand the mechanism of action. Now you see, you go to YouTube and start a video for say action potential generation, maybe for cardiac muscle functioning or so. So just it's like 5-6 minutes video, maybe 10 minutes video. You have to just watch it, understand what is happening. You don't really have to remember everything. Once you understand what is happening, believe me, when you are solving a question where you have got four answers in front of, yeah, four answers in front of your eyes, eventually you will be able to see, you will be able to choose the correct answer. And this is the best part of all of the kind of exam pattern which you have. Now, one important thing I would suggest is it's a good idea to take a look at all. Now that you have got just 1 month left, it's a good idea to take out the question papers which are available on the GPAT website. Take out all the question papers, try and solve on your own, and try and just check the answers. Now it is possible that you are not prepared well, and so then many of the answers are not correct. Don't worry about it. You just just try and read those answers and try and assimilate that. That is also good learning for that matter. Then the next part I would want to highlight is the mechanism of action. You need to, like I said, when you watch a video, a lot of things get clear. We did not have that luxury of watching a video. So if I have to read it from Gaitan, or if I have to read action potential generation from Tautura or from Babar or any other book from Tripathi for that matter, we have to imagine it. Believe me, it's not as simple as that. I mean, you don't watch any of the videos, and I promise you, or I can tell you that it will be very difficult for you to understand. Of course, your teachers will help you, and nowadays many of us, including myself, use these video because those make life very easy in terms of understanding or teaching learning process. So we use, but we did not have something like that back then. So we had to imagine. So that one luxury you have, that you have all the access to this video. So understanding the mechanism of action is very important. And many a times you also have very important aspect like drug-drug interaction. So there are certain drug interactions on which you will find that the questions are asked persistently. So you need to understand that, and this is where I'm advising you to refer to the question papers which are available for previous year's question paper, and you need to discuss this information along with your group members. Because suppose if like you have got only 1 month with you, and you are like 10 of you, so everyone deals with like maybe 3 papers in a week's time, and then you just sit together maybe on WhatsApp call, or maybe come physically meet, and then just discuss this. So you can imagine the amount of work which will be achieved by these 10 individuals rather than you individually referring it to. So those 30 papers in 1 week's time, it's a mammoth task. But then 10 individuals referring 3 papers each, and then sharing what was the problem they faced and what was the interesting questions and answers. Believe me, that will save you a lot of work and a lot of time. And now at this point of time, the time management is the essence, and this is where you need to really work on. Another interesting thing is you really need to manage your time well. Like I said, I mean, ideally you should have read all the topics in the syllabus, and before the exam you should have revised it one more time, because even though you read it only once, maybe you may not be able to connect the dots just when you go for the exam. So it's a good idea to revise it one. Now revision will be again not necessarily spending the same amount of time which you spend preparing for that exam. It's a good idea to really do a wonderful job in revising. Again, your group study can help you in revising. So what you could achieve in 1 month, you would be able to do that in like 10 days or maybe 12 days. So that will save you a lot of work. But then those group members must be encouraging each other. Not that some group member is there who is trying to pull others down. Just the way you have seen in Three Idiots. So this guy, the South Indian guy, is trying to put those magazines in those in every student's just before the exam in every student's room, so that they don't study, and he studies and then he gets a higher mark. Not like that. So you have to also help others. If somebody is weak in your class, help him or her. That person. He may not be the topper, or rather, I mean, of course, he is a weak student. He may not be the topper, but then believe me, marks are one thing, and what you turn out to be very, very different. It's there is no direct relation of whether you are a topper in the class and you will do well in life. Absolutely, there is no correlation. That means anybody who is appearing to be weak, maybe the MD of some company tomorrow. Einstein, he had dyslexia and he couldn't learn properly, but he got Nobel Prize, and we all study theory of relativity and what all Einstein did, right? So again, the point is, do not underestimate anyone. Do not say that that person is weak. So you need to help people. Again, when you help, you create all those positive thoughts, and that actually helps you release some good chemicals, and that will actually make a better person, and not just better person in terms of that you are good to others, but that will also be helpful in terms of your overall well-being. Because unless you are I would say, unless you are well or peaceful from within, you will not be able to do whatever the task is at your hand. So this is also true for all other subjects, including pharmaceutics, where some of the basic fundamentals of pharmaceutics, which we study in physical chemistry, that includes solubility, that includes thermodynamics, that also includes colligative properties, that also includes all other things which essentially we put to use in third year and final year, the application part. So you need to have your basics very sound. I'm talking about first year and second year stuff, the physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, the organic chemistry. That will help you in really succeeding in third year and final year. And that is where the GPAT exam comes in picture. So it's a good idea to have your basics very strong, and then try and build on those basics, like when you have to stabilize the suspension or even any disperse system for that matter, and emulsion. So what is it that you need to do when you have to stabilize an emulsion? So unless you know what surface properties are, unless you know what zeta potential is, unless you know what are the problems a suspension or an emulsion can face, and unless you understand those problems, you'll never be able to come up with the ways by which you can stabilize them. And this is where you build, like studying is like building a house. You make your foundation strong, and then you go on building a nice house onto that. So you build one room at a time, and then you decorate that room likewise. So this is all systematically you build this complete thing. And believe me, GPAT is just one exam. This whole thing will make you a better person in terms of that will make you sincere, that will make you disciplined. And the same thing continues because when you go for your PG and then PhD or whatever you want to do, MBA or any higher study you go, this discipline is making you succeed, making you succeed in whatever you choose to do. So do not consider GPAT as just a means of getting to some PG course into some real good institute like ICT or NIPE or any other institute of your choice. But then this is just to make you more disciplined in terms of taking life seriously. Because when you come from 12th to first year to second year to third year to final year, you observe yourself to become more mature by the time you reach final year, and then you get more serious about life. Again, it's not about doing really good in life in terms of earning good money and all that thing, but whatever you do, you should be good at it. And this is exactly, that whole thing starts from your professional course, and that's why the undergraduate courses are extremely important for one's well-being, in overall well-being in life, not just health-wise, not just mental, but also from the professional. Because professionally, if you are doing good, you will be peaceful from within, and that peaceful nature or behavior will make you more healthy. And so everything is interlinked. Everything you just can't disregard one aspect and focus on the other. But then the whole point I'm trying to tell you is hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. And now that you have 1 month to go, this you should be more serious. Believe me, nothing is impossible. You might not have, some of you might not have studied so far, but then maybe today you decide, no, I really want to do it. Let us see what potential I have got. You can still start from today, and believe me, it is nothing what you can do. Of course, you'll have to put in those extra efforts. You'll have to make sure things work, and you also have to create the thoughts. Believe me, merely working 12 hours, 18 hours a day, you also have to create the thoughts, because your thoughts are so powerful. Whatever thoughts you create, those thoughts will make the universe to make those things happen, right? So and that's exactly why you should create thoughts. So you should see yourself pursuing master's course, maybe from NIPER, maybe from ICT, some place wherever you think you would want to. So you have to have a dream. You have to have a focus. And this is where the hard work will automatically come in, and this everything is just byproduct of your hard work, your persistence, your sincerity, your expectation, meaning expectations of your parents, your teachers, yourself, your expectations of yourself from yourself, your own expectations from yourself. All those things will matter, and it will come out as a nice thing. Now, before you, I'm sure others would ask questions. And okay. Okay. So another important thing is, I think it is possible for you to take a dummy exam just the way you would otherwise take on GPAT on the computer. So you just have to register. I'm not sure at this point of time it is possible to do, but there is a provision. So all you have to do is just register for this dummy exam, and it is free of charge, and it should be available in the nearby city, if not in Shirpur right away. It could be available at India, it could be available at Nasik, someplace, and you can actually book that and just make yourself with the format of the examination. Although you know what that format is, but doing it on the computer itself is very important, because again, somebody may study 18 hours a day, and then those 3 hours or 3.5 hours they are the most important, because what you have studied, those 3 hours are going to decide whether you really did justice to what you did. Meaning, if something goes wrong during these 3 hours, despite your hard work, you can still do not well. I mean, a lot of things can happen. You might not have taken good sleep. You are anxious. You are confused, and you have panic attacks. A lot of things can happen, because many times the expectations from others, including parents, teachers. So that times, I mean, at times it can be a real burden, and that leads to a lot of different things. And we are too judgmental of ourselves only. Somebody might have said, you cannot do something well, and then the self-confidence. That's another thing. In fact, somebody challenged me in my final year BPharm, and sarcastically said that GATE 1998 result should be Prashant Kharkar 99.9999, like that. I took that as a challenge. Of course, like I said, you cannot really decide and stand first in the competitive exam where 25 other students are kind of appearing with you. So all you have to do is do whatever you do in the best possible way, and make justice to that in the exam as well. Now, I suppose there is a negative marking system, right? For
Yes, sir.
GPAT? Yeah.
Yes, sir. There is a negative.
Yeah. So unless you are confident, you wouldn't want to attempt those questions where you are not confident, right? So I will now focus on just a week before the exam. Now, see, another interesting thing was like when we were doing our masters and of course BPharm and master, we did not have internet, we did not have distractions, we did not have cell phone, we did not have Facebook, we did not have WhatsApp, nothing. It was all the books, and the computer was a luxury for us. Just the way I don't know what is luxury for you at this point of time. I mean, smartphones, everyone has smartphone. That's no more a luxury. Anybody can buy smartphone. But then the kind of environment which we are in, I think that was really very good because we did not have distractions. But you have so many distractions, so you need to abstain from those distractions at least for a week, because those distractions, apart from eating your own time, those distractions can also let you morally down. Meaning, somebody writes something to you on WhatsApp chat, and you keep thinking, overthinking, and then somebody can actually do that what this person in Three Idiots movie has done, that say topper, the South Indian guy. So somebody can do that to you. There are all sorts of people in this world, right? But again, I don't want to get into the philosophical aspect of that. What I'm trying to tell you is staying away from the phone, staying away from social media for that 1 week is going to be very crucial, because that will give you more time for the last minute preparation, and also it will help you in making sure that building the confidence, right? Then that's one thing. And then, like I said, do not try to remember things because you probably wouldn't, because the situation is like that. Exam is just 1 week away, and you try and remember something, you don't remember it. and then you are like, oh my God, what will happen? And I'm not this and that. Particularly for girls, well, before I say anything, I wish everyone present here, all the girls, a very happy Women's Day. I thought I would do that, but somehow I forgot. I'm so sorry. So again, now in case of girls, the hormonal disturbances, or rather, I would say, the hormonal things can affect the mood, and then they're likely to feel depressed, because again, these are like physiological actions. So again, you need to really take care of your mood, your composure during this particular time. And that's where moving away from social media will only help you doing that. And boys are no different. Boys have got more distractions than girls for sure. So you just need to stay away from all those distractions in that particular thing. Now, another important thing is every day, and I'm talking about the last week, every day you must take at least 7 hours of good sleep. And the day before the exam, you should be in the bed by 10 o'clock. No matter what you have read, what you haven't read, nothing can be done at this point of time. So don't waste your time in reading, and again, do not do that. Just sleep early, get up early in the morning, be ready. Do not try and open the book and, oh my God, now I forgot to read this, I am not remembering. Do not do that. Just let it go. I remember for that exam, our exam was scheduled on 8th of February, 1998. It was Sunday. And 7th February night, everybody was studying, and I was like, I ate. We went to mess. I ate. I came home after half an hour. I just slept, and everybody was like, "Oh, you are not doing the last minute reservation. I mean revisions." And I said, "Forget it. I'm not doing it." I just slept, and then morning when I got up, everybody was again reading, and I was like, I just said, "Leave it." I took a bath, and then we all got ready. We went to a nice temple, Swami Sumartha temple near RYK College in Nasik. So we were in Nasik, and I just sat there for 5 minutes, closed my eyes, prayed to God that God, I have done my part, and I'm sure everything will turn out to be well. And I did not say that make me topper, or I said just give me that strength to do justice to all the hard work which I have done so far. This is exactly I asked. I never got in my whole life. I never asked God, give me this, give me that. Absolutely not. Okay, so then we went to the center, and you should also do the same. And of course, ours was a paper exam. Yours is going to be a computer-based exam. So in that case, we went there, and again, people were reading. These that I did not listen. I mean, I did not talk to anybody. Just went to the center, sat near my sat on my bench. I saw there was no objectionable matter nearby, some chit or so. And then just stayed there. I did not carry any book. I did not carry any paper, even for last minute revision. Absolutely nothing. I had my pen, pencil, whatever I had, a pad, and then some backing material. And I just started writing the paper. So the same thing, when you go to the center, as per the, read all the instructions carefully, whatever they have asked you, and then make sure you take all the necessary documents with you, because last minute, if some document is not there, believe me, that's going to put you in the panic mode, and this is going to be very, very dangerous. And this is where you need to really make sure you do justice to what you have done. And essentially, once you are in the exam, just make sure you understand. If you haven't taken any mock exam, all you need to do is just sit there and start writing the answering the paper. Now, usually I have attended a lot of computer-based exam. I usually do is I will write down on a plain piece of paper. I will write down all the question numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, whatever. And then once one question is solved, I will just take away if I am very confident. If I am not, I will just make a circle on that the questions which I will not solve in that particular time. I will just leave, but then I'm marking separately because now it's a computer-based exam. I will also try and make sure that if some problem is tough, I will not waste my time. I will come back to that problem later, and because you have negative marking system, so you have to be very, very careful. So I will try and solve all the questions which I'm very confident of, and then I'll come back to those tough questions which first thing, I might have selected the answer, but I'm not confident. I will revisit that question, and then of course finally turn to those questions which I did not attend. So the essence is making sure that you do justice to whatever the questions you have attempted. Now, there is nothing is in your control as to how many questions the topper will attend, how many questions he will get it correct. So there is no, there will not be anything in your control. The only thing in your control is what answers you give, what questions you select, and with what conviction or with what confidence you give, and that's it, right? And once the paper is over, make sure you complete all the formalities, including submitting that exam and all those things, and just leave to God. Don't worry about it. Nothing can be done now, and then you just come out of the hall. So now again, the point all this behind telling all this is, since you are at particularly those who are going to appear for the exam, I did not want to, although I had a presentation, I can share. I told to Dr. Harun that I will share the presentation. You can still take a look at that presentation, but that presentation will not help you at this point of time in terms of preparing for the gate. And that's why I thought I would share my own experiences and make you aware of those last minute tricks and what needs to be done. Because I mean, we did not have anybody like this. Of course, we had our seniors and things like that, but then the kind of notes I made, I gave it to one of my juniors who was again topper. She probably depended too much on those notes, and she did not even. I mean, she cleared exam. She got good marks, but she wasn't the topper. Her name was Sita Lakshmi Iyer, and then she asked me. I referred to your notes, but I did not top. And I said those notes were for me. Those notes were only for me, and you should have. I told her what I had to tell her. So the point is, I put my heart and soul into whatever preparations I did, and eventually it turned out to be good. I was so much into going to ICT. I created those thoughts. I mean, day in and day out, I was looking at myself. I was dreaming that I would work with Professor VM Kulkarni, and finally that dream came true. Can you imagine, as in how powerful thoughts I would have created? And of course, it wasn't just thoughts. I mean, you create thoughts, do nothing. The universe will never give you anything, actually, right? And this is where the hard work comes in picture. Believe me, no matter how smart you are, maybe the topper, you may be the most, I would say, the best genius this planet has ever seen. But ultimately, you have still to write that paper. You have still to select those, make those choices, and what choices you make will make or break you. But again, I mean, this is just an exam. Don't take it too seriously. If you don't do well, all you have to do is, of course, you have to decide as to, you have to have a plan. I mean, not necessarily a solid plan. I mean, there also has to be a backup plan or a plan B. What if this doesn't work out? Not everybody can top in GATE or GPAT. Not everybody can get into NIPER or so. So you have to just settle with what you have. And so the result, believe me, most of the time, the result will be commensurate to your hard work, because it's not just the hard work, it's also your smartness, your intelligence, and what you do with those 3 hours, that is going to really help. So it's a very complex situation where studying or hard work is just one part, and then all other things can be when many factors are not in your control at all, and this is where you need to really believe in yourself and get into that, and believe me, you will succeed. Right. So maybe, sir, whenever I come to Shirpur, I can have interaction specifically with third year students. And today I only wanted to have a discussion with the final year student, because if I told them what I had to tell to third year students, they will be, I mean, this wouldn't be really useful. There are many things they cannot really go back and do. They cannot go back in time and do what they should be doing. And this is where I thought I would just talk to them. So students, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. I mean that was the whole point. So those who were not really interested, they just left the meeting. But like I said, I mean, I was ready. Even if there is one student who is genuinely interested, this 1 hour spent by me and many hours many hours spent by Dr. Harun Patel, as well as all the college management, including Dr. Shirkhet, that will be worth it.
Yes, sir. Student, please ask the query to sir.
Yeah, you can ask in Marathi, Irani, I can answer.
Yes, please. Even you can write down in chat box.
Yeah, that is also fine if you don't want to ask right away.
Please fast.
नमस्कार सर.
हा नमस्कार बोला.
सर जर समजा आपल्याला जर गेट जर क्वालिफाय नाही झालो, समजा गेटचा कट ऑफ लागला 30 किंवा 35 लागला समथिंग दॅट, आणि आपल्याला 20 मार्क्स मिळाले, आणि समजा आयसीटीच्या एक्झाम मध्ये जर आपल्याला तिथे जर आपण क्वालिफाय करत असलो तर किती चान्सेस आहेत बरं का की आपल्याला आयसीटी मध्ये एमटेक साठी ऍडमिशन मिळेल?
त्याच्यात पण कसं आहे ना की नॉट डिपेंड्स की बाकी लोक बाकी लोकांचे स्कोर काय, पण वन थिंग इज फॉर शुअर गेट जीपॅट क्वालिफाईड नसेल किंवा गेट क्वालिफाईड नसेल तुला फेलोशिप मिळणार. See, these exams definitely are for fellowship and of course त्याच्या बेसिसवर ऍडमिशन होतात. But again याचं उत्तर थोडं डिफिकल्टच आहे, कारण त्यावेळेस काय सिच्युएशन असते, किती जणांनी अप्लाय केलं, किती जण तिथं थांबले, किती जण नायपरला गेले किंवा दुसरीकडे गेले, IIT ला गेले. बट एक तू करू शकतो की अप्लाय अँड सी, just try your luck. You may get lucky. Lot of students get that. होतं बऱ्याच वेळा होतं.
ओके सर, ओके, थँक्यू सर.
नो प्रॉब्लेम.
Other please.
Any other question? अरे विचारा. You don't have to start. I'm not asking you to start the camera.
Sir, on behalf of the student, please will you explain that how to handle the pressure during the examination?
How to handle
the pressure during the examination.
Okay. Like I said, the first thing you should be doing is you should be taking good sleep. That is for sure, because if you do not take good sleep, that will add to your stress and that will again worsen the situation. Now, like I said, there are some factors which are in your control, and there are many factors which are not in your control. Now, one factor I tell you, the question paper setter is so if it comes to me as a question, for setting up the question paper, we need to contribute some questions to the original database. Now, I love structures, so I put a lot of questions related to structure. There will be many more questions. So, likewise, some examiner, he probably is more interested in maybe the other aspects, right? So that's where you don't have any control over what that paper turned out to be. That's exactly why I said when you look at the previous year's question paper, and in fact to handle the pressure of the exam, one best way to deal with is to really look at last 10 years question papers and solve them, irrespective of whether you have studied a lot or you have not studied at all. Just do it. Believe me, you will be you will eventually build a confidence. Now again, I'm not saying that your answers will be correct and you will get the false confidence also, absolutely not, but you know what kind of questions are asked and how to think to answer that question. And this is where, I mean, many times many students make mistake of not solving previous year's question paper, or not forget about solving, at least look at every single question and at least look at the answer which is given in the answer key. Believe me, you will do much better. There are two persons, person A and person B. Person A has studied very
Sir, please unmute yourself. Sir.
Yeah, so person B has studied moderately, but then he has spent more time in preparing for, like, looking at the previous year's question paper. So I would say that I will make a statement that person B is likely to get more marks in the exam. Again, this is a subjective statement, but what I want to emphasize is make sure to handle the pressure in the exam. One way of doing this would be to solve previous year's question paper and then find the answers. If your answer is incorrect, absolutely fine. Just go and read what that is. Now that basically that question paper solving will make you ready to think, because like I said, what happens in those 3 hours is going to make you or break you. And this is where you need to really do a good job in handling those 3 hours. So like I said, you have to abstain from social media during that time. You don't make any comment on anybody. You don't listen to any crap anybody has to say about you, because those things matter. For, I mean, many of us are very sensitive. So somebody says something and we keep on thinking, and that will only add to, you already are kind of under pressure, that will only make things worse. But again, like I said, all the four answers are in front of your eyes, not like you could remember something and then write in the form of an essay or a big question. Absolutely not. So memory is out of question, and this is where you need to convince yourself that you have everything in front of your eyes. You only have to make one choice, and that choice you are going to make. I mean, your hard work, whatever you have spent time working on preparing those, that will make you select that particular choice, and those choices will be very similar to each other, and this is where you need to really work on. So handling the pressure, time management, revision is very important, and then question paper solving, and adequate sleep, good food. Do not get into junk food. Do not skip meals. Be yourself hydrated, and do not worry too much. You will just do well. Try convincing yourself, that kind of all is well, whatever. You may have something else to say to yourself. Do that, and don't do it for anybody. Huh? Don't do it for anybody. Don't try to be topper to just to impress a girl or to a boy or whatever. But don't do that for. So it is a serious thing. You have to do it for your future. You probably are from a background where even getting to that stage may be very very difficult. But your parents have taken so much effort, so they probably did not eat for a day, or maybe they did not do things because they wanted money. They wanted to provide you money. So think of your parents, and believe me, a lot of things will be properly aligned to your goal and to the goal with the universe. Believe me, you will do well. So take care of your health, and your body will take care of all what you have to achieve in life. To do that.
Thank you, sir. Guys, please ask the question to sir. Any other question?
Rucha, you have some question? Rucha Kumar, which Kumkar, Rucha Kumkar, fine. Are you there?
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
Yes, go ahead.
sir, the number of questions to be attempted in exam.
Mm-hmm.
How many questions we should attempt?
See, total, the paper is of 500 marks, right?
Yes, sir.
And 125 questions,
Yes, sir.
3 hours.
Yes, sir.
So 3 hours, that means 180 divided by 125. What is the answer? It's probably roughly around 1.5 minutes per question.
1.36. 1.36.
1.36. So,
Yes.
so that's what I said. You go on reading the question. Now you will take some time to read the question, and then you will take also some time to read the choices. So the first thing you should be doing is go on attempting those questions which actually feel appealing to you, and which the answer is really correct. Go on, start the speed right from the beginning, because if you do not pick up the speed right from the beginning, that will add more pressure to you, because then you will keep on worrying. I have got many questions to even read and then answer. So as such, there is no particular number that I would say, but whatever you do, even if it is like say 70 questions, but make sure you attempt only those questions which you are very sure of, because there is a negative mark, right? So for every one correct answer, you get 4 marks, but for every one wrong answer, you 1 mark is deducted, right? So you can imagine 4 wrong answers and 1 correct answer, right? So it takes more to lose marks than to get marks, and that's where you need to really focus on those questions which you do. Now numericals you should keep aside for the time being, because for numericals you have to do some calculations and then come to a actual thing. So you can leave aside those questions. So try and simple questions, whatever you think, and then go to the next level one by one, fast. So in fact, while you are waiting for the exam to start, and you will go half an hour to the exam center. So like I said, you actually use that, ask for a blank sheet and write down those 125 questions, and then keep a tab on what all questions you have solved correctly, and correctly in the sense, like that. So in that sense, what I'm trying to tell you is that time management is going to be very important. Do not get into one particular question. I mean, you may say that, oh, I studied this particular topic so hard, but I'm not getting the correct answer. So don't get into that obsession. Just move on to the next question. So at least you should solve 60 good questions to come up with real good marks.
Thank you, sir. Any other, please?
Reasonable, actually. Reasonable. 60 is a good number. I mean, assume that all 60 are correct, you will get 240 marks out of 500. That's again, I mean, you don't have any control as to what topper will do and what percentile score it turns out to be. But I mean, aim for minimum 60, you will at least end up solving 80 questions, and most of them with correct answers.
Thank you, sir. Any other, please?
Any other?
Any other student, please ask question to sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
No
There is no question from the student side. Thank you, sir, for giving your precious time to us. And when you can remember the date of examination, okay, that means you are saying that your date of examination of GATE was 8th of Feb 1998.
Yes.
It itself indicates that how much hard work you have done for that one. You properly said that without hard work, one cannot be successful in life. And same thing here, I am also saying with my student that you have to work very hard. There is no shortcut to the success. Some of students, they also sharing the same kind of question to me. Sir, बहुत सारे student हमें बोलते हैं कि ये देखो GPAT की gang जा रही है, ये वही student, they're taunting them like that one.
Yeah.
So as you said that you also have been taunted, and some of your friends said that he is the guy who is getting 99 points, something like that one, and you have accepted that challenge. So the same answer I would like to give to my student, that whenever someone is taunting, you have to take it positively. You have to accept it as a challenge. And that means I am totally agree with you, sir. You also said that group discussion is very essential, and here also we have divided the student in group with whom they are compatible. And you properly said that solving old question paper is very essential. They gives the idea that what kind of a question would be asked, what could be the depth of the question, and how one need to tackle with such kind of questions. You also properly said that mnemonics are very essential to remember the classification, especially of pharmacology. And every year there are 4 to 5 questions which were asked on the pharmacology, and with the help of the mnemonics, you can easily answer such kind of questions. And I still do remember, sir, that NDM VP was one of the brand of that time. Okay, and I used to share with my student that कि हमारे ज़माने में if someone is asking that who will be the topper, so we used to, without any kind of doubt, we used to say that yes, the person will be from NDM VP. It was such kind of a passion that NDM VP people is having. Or yes, so if you want to join the ICT, you have to be the topper in that means they have the total something like as 18 seats over there in Mumbai. So if you want to be associated with sir, it is the golden opportunity to all the BPharm final year student. Be the topper in top 18 or top 20, and you'll be getting a chance to join ICT. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving precious time.
The MPharms usually are the toppers. Of the 18 MPharm students, most of them have like in top of these.
Yes, sir.
Most of them will stay in ICT.
And nowadays, trend is shifting. Even people, they are giving more preference to the ICT over the NIPER. Even all India ranker person used to prefer to join the ICT. It is such kind of a passion of ICT. Okay, and the golden opportunity is that you people are from Maharashtra, and it is very easy to reach to the Mumbai. It is just a one-night journey. From any corner of Maharashtra, I think that you can reach to Mumbai just in a single night.
Yes, even Nagpur, within 12 hours will be.
And there won't be any kind of problem of food and any other system, any other thing. Okay, like if you're going to Mohali, there will be problem of means environmental conditions are something is different from Maharashtra. Food system something different from Maharashtra. And ICT is such kind of platform, okay, which will you'll be at different position after completing M.Pharm or M.Tech from the ICT. Most of the student, those who are completing M.Pharm or M.Tech from the ICT, most of them, they are doing a PhD abroad, or they may be talking about the GRE, TOEFL. So platform changes lot of things. Okay. So thank you, sir, for being with us for 1 hour and giving your precious time. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to talk to students. So yeah, if they want, they can write to me, or they can write to you, and you can pass it on to what they have to say. Anything. That's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Namaskar, Sana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure, sir.
Okay. So take care. Bye bye. All the best, students. Do well, and see you in ICT. If at all you are coming to ICT, or if you choose ICT, please
Yes, sir.
come. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.